Hey everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jerry and today we're going to be diving into Elementor, one of the most powerful and user-friendly page builders for WordPress. In this video tutorial, you will learn what Elementor is, how to install Elementor on your WordPress website. We'll look at how to install a lightweight theme for Elementor because every WordPress website has to have a theme. So I'll show you how to get a good lightweight theme set up. And then we'll also go over the Elementor interface. Okay, so with that being said, what exactly is Elementor? Well, Elementor is a drag and drop website builder that lets you design and customize your website in real time, and you don't need to know any special coding or anything like that. So whether you're looking to build a personal website, like a personal blog, a business website, or an online store, like an e-commerce store, Elementor is going to give you full control over the look and feel of your website. You can easily add and arrange elements like text, images, buttons, videos with just a few clicks. You don't need to know how to do anything special like how to write code or anything of that nature. This is something that a beginner can do. But Elementor is perfect. Whether you're a beginner or you're a professional website designer, Elementor is perfect. It also has a ton of pre-designed templates that you can use to get started quickly, and you can customize those templates however you like. So stick around with me and I'll show you how easy it is to get started with Elementor. Okay, so as you can see here on my screen, I have a website demo pulled up. This is just a demo WordPress website. It's a fresh install. There's nothing really on this website other than some sample content that came included. So what we're going to do is head over to the WordPress dashboard. And I'm going to go ahead and sign in. Now in this video, I'm not going to go over every little detail about Elementor because there's a lot that Elementor has to offer, but the purpose of this video is going to show you how to get Elementor installed, how to set up the theme, like I said, and we'll go over the interface so you kind of know where everything is. And then I'm going to be putting out more videos that's going to go into so much more detail, showing you how to do specific things in Elementor, how to build out some really awesome designs from scratch. So there's a lot more to come on this channel. So if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification so you can be notified when there is a new video. All right, so from the WordPress dashboard, let's head down over here on the left navigation bar, go to plugins, just hover over plugins and go to add new plugin. Off to the right, you're going to type in Elementor in the search plugins box. And then it's going to say right here, Elementor Website Builder, install now. Right below it, you'll see more details. If you click more details, this will give you more information about Elementor. States right here, Elementor, the leading WordPress website creation platform, empowers you to build professional, pixel-perfect websites. So if you scroll down here, you can look at all the features that Elementor has. There's just a lot of stuff in here. Today we're going to be working with the free version of Elementor, and so we're going to go over some of these free widgets or free elements that come included with Elementor. We're not going to go over all of them because, like I said, there's way too much to go over, but we'll go over some of them. So you have by the end of this video, you should have a pretty good understanding of how to navigate around Elementor. If there's any specific type of video that you want to see later about something specific, put it in the comments and I can make a video on that. So let's go ahead and get Elementor installed. So let's click install now. And then we're going to hit activate. Now once you hit activate, you're going to be taken to this page here that says you're here. Let's get connected. Click on create my account. You will need to create a free account with Elementor in order to access the templates. There are free templates and there are professional templates, which come included in the pro version. But there are a few templates that you can get for free, but you do need to have an account in order to access those templates. So if you don't have an account, pause the video, click create my account. If you already have an account with Elementor, just connect it to your Elementor installation by clicking here to connect your account. So I already have an account with Elementor. I'm going to click connect your account. Now I'm already signed in to Elementor, so it already recognizes me, but if you are not signed in, you'll just see like a little login box here. It'll say enter your username and password, and then this page will come up. Then you would just hit connect. That's simple. Once you do that, the next thing will say continue with the hello theme. So from this point, what I recommend doing is clicking right here where it says continue with hello theme. The hello theme is a theme that's made by Elementor for Elementor. It's a very basic, lightweight theme, just as it states here. It's lightweight and fast loading. It's great for SEO. So if you're using Elementor, go ahead and use the hello theme. Or you can also use, there's another theme called Generate Press. It's a very lightweight theme as well, and it's got some premium features that you can add to it. A very good plugin, but I'll make another video on that later. But for right now, I would just recommend using the hello theme. So click continue with hello theme. And then on the next page, you don't have to do any of this. Come up to your address bar. You can hit skip, but sometimes skip doesn't work. So come up to your address bar and just take everything out of it except for the WP-admin, and then you go right back to your WordPress dashboard. Now, what you're going to do is click on Pages and go to All Pages. Since this is a fresh install of WordPress, there is nothing on here other than these sample pages that came included, so I'm just going to create a new page. But if you already have a page that you're going to use to edit a page, just click on the page, and then you can click on Edit with Elementor. I'm just going to create a new page. And then I'll give my page a name. I'll call it My Elementor Tutorial. Just give it a name. All right, Edit with Elementor is what we're going to click. And then once you do that, it's going to take you into the page builder. So up until this point, we've got Elementor successfully installed. Took just a few seconds. And we have the hello theme installed as well. So now we're in the page builder. Let's X out this little pop-up window. So now you are in the page builder. This is what Elementor looks like. So this is where you're going to be editing and creating your website right here. So up at the top left-hand corner, you're going to see like the Elementor icon. And then as you hover over it, it turns into like a little hamburger icon. I like that. I think that's pretty cool the way they did that. But if you click on this and you go down to exit to WordPress, this will take you right back to your WordPress dashboard. So it's a quick way of getting back to WordPress. Theme Builder is part of the Pro version, so don't worry about that for now. We're only focused on the free version. Theme Builder is part of Pro. If you click on History, this is a pretty cool feature in Elementor. As you're building and designing your website, if you ever need to go back and undo something or restore your website to an earlier time, you'll be able to go back and go back to an older version of your website. So incredibly useful feature. Once you start editing your site, go over to this hamburger icon, go to History, and you can always restore your website to an earlier time. So very nice if you make a mistake or you make some changes and you want to go back, you can easily go back. If you come down here to user preferences, I like to work with a darker color for my tools. I like all my tools to be on the darker side, so I click dark mode and it'll make your panels darker. I think it's just easier on the eyes, so it's not all this white that we're looking at. So I'm going to switch it over to the dark mode. And then all these other settings, just leave them the way they are. You don't need to worry about changing these for now. You can increase the width if you want to make your sidebar bigger that you're working with, or you can make it smaller, up to you, or you can click here and get the arrows and just drag it. I'm going to keep it on the 300 pixels. I think that was fine. And then if you click this plus sign, it'll take you right back to your elements panel. And as you're going to see, all these elements in here, you got like heading elements, image element, text editor element, video elements. So you can add all these elements to your website. Ton of stuff in here. As you scroll down, you're going to see some of these pro elements. These are locked because they're part of the paid version. So I'm going to hide this for now and click on Pro just to hide those. Coming down a little bit more, we see general, and then we see some more elements in here like tabs, accordion, image box. So you can just drag elements onto the canvas and see what they do. Like I said, I'm going to be making more videos on these elements in future videos to go into more detail. Again, the purpose of this video is just to show you how to navigate around Elementor and get it installed. So as we come down here, we see some more pro features. So we're just going to scroll back to the top. At any point, you see this little arrow right here. You click this arrow, and you can kind of see what your website looks like. It'll just hide your side panels. Okay. Now, if you come up here to the top, you're going to see site settings. If you click site settings, this will control, like, these are like your global settings where you're going to be able to control like global colors, global fonts, typography. So before you start building your website, I highly recommend that you set up your global colors, global fonts, and I'm going to touch on this in just a moment and show you how all this works. But let's go ahead and X this out for just a moment. The next one over is this structure. If you click on structure, you're going to notice this sidebar goes away. So let's turn it back on. This bar is called your navigation panel. When you start adding a bunch of elements to your site, they're going to show up here in the navigation panel. If you've ever used Photoshop in the past and you have, like, your layers and all your layers and your text elements, images, it's kind of like that. It's going to help you keep your website organized, and you'll be able to find all your elements pretty easily. You can click on them, and I'm going to demonstrate this in a little bit as well, but I recommend keeping the navigation panel turned on when you're editing. It just makes things easier. For now, I'm going to go ahead and just turn it off. Over here in the top, you see the name of your page. You see that it's a draft because we haven't published it yet. If you're going to publish it, you just come over here and click publish. Over here, we have page settings. If you click page settings, this will take you to the page settings for the specific page that you're working on. You can come over here and edit your title. For now, I'm just going to keep it as My Elementor Tutorial. And then if you come down here, you can set a featured image. You can hide the title if you want to hide it by toggling this on and off. I'm going to keep it hidden because we don't really need the title showing up. Page layout. Will, if you use Elementor Canvas, this will be a completely blank canvas with nothing on it. For right now, for demonstration purposes, we'll just leave it on default. Okay, perfect. Over here, you see desktop, tablet, and mobile. At any point, you can click on these to see how your website will appear on a tablet or a phone. So pretty nice as you're editing your site. You can see what it looks like. Coming over here to the Finder. Finder is just going to help you find anything in Elementor. If you're looking for, templates, they're going to be in your kit library. So anything you want to search for in Elementor, if you put in like dashboard, this will take you to your WordPress dashboard. Or like I said, you can just click up here on this E and go here. In Elementor, there's so many different ways of doing the same thing. Over here, you're going to see like this little help icon. If you click on this, it'll take you to Elementor's help center where you can search something up and read more about it. So pretty useful from right in the builder. You can go to the help pages. We have a what's new section. If you click this, it opens up this little pop-up window. It'll give you some latest information, just news from Elementor. So we'll just X this out for now. This is preview. It'll just let you preview your site in a new tab so you can see what it looks like on the web. Okay. And then, of course, publish is just going to let you publish your website. So you hit publish, it'll publish to the web, and then down here you can click on have a look, and then you'll be able to see what your website looks like on the web. Okay, perfect. So let's head back to the builder here. Now, let's take a look at our global colors because notice as you drag elements in to Elementor that it's already using a blue color, a gray color for font. If we add in a button, you can see how it's using this green. The first thing we need to do before we start building a website in Elementor is set up your global colors and your global fonts. This way everything is set up in advance and you don't have to manually change these colors every time to your company colors. So like if your business is using specific colors for your branding, we can set up all these colors in Elementor so they're already done for you. So come up here to site settings, the third icon from the top or from the left. Click on that, and then you're going to see global colors. Click on global colors, and you can come over here and you can change all your colors. So like if we want our primary color to be like a dark blue or something like that, you can come over here and set it to a dark blue. If you want your secondary color to be black, whatever you want it to be, you can set it here. If you want your text color to be gray, like a dark gray, like a charcoal gray or something like that, you can set it here. I think we'll use a dark gray for our text color. And then accent, this is like for your buttons and stuff like that. Maybe we'll use like a light blue color there. So that looks pretty good. So we'll leave it like that for now. And you can see all the colors here. If you want to change them, you just click on them and you can modify them. Or you can click here and modify. Another cool thing with Elementor is you can click on primary, secondary text, or accent, and you can actually change what these say. So if you want to say main company color, whatever you want to call these, you can change them to whatever you want. If your company uses even more colors than just the 4 colors we set up here, just click on add color, click on new item name, say custom color 1, click this little square here and add in another color. So if you're going to be always using this type of red, you can set this specific red color up so it's already set in advance. Click add another color. We can add maybe like this color here. That looks good. Click another color. You can add it here. And then if you don't want this, you can just hit delete. You can delete the color as well from right here, or you can even move it around any order you want. So I'll just delete this one. Okay, so let's go ahead and save changes here. So we set up our colors. Now we can set up our fonts. So to do that, just click fonts here, or hit this arrow and click global fonts. Again, in Elementor, there's so many ways of doing or getting to the same place. Now for our system fonts, just click the pencil icon. Again, you can just click the pencil icon to edit the font. You can delete them using the trash can. So let's click primary and click on the pencil icon, and let's change our font. So we can use any font we want. You can go through this list. There are a lot of fonts in here. These are like Google fonts. So there's like over, I believe, like 200 fonts in here. So just pick a font. I'm going to go with Railway. We can make it bigger, smaller, whatever we want. I think we'll just go with that. That looks good for our primary font. Maybe a little smaller. That looks good. And then you can change your secondary font. Same thing. Come over here, pick a font. I'll use Railway again for the secondary font. If you want to make it a little bit bolder, you can change the weight of the font here. So we'll just use medium. That looks good. And then your text font, just click on that. Say we'll use Arial. And we'll use maybe 15 pixels. That's a little small. We'll use 18. That looks good. All right. And then if you want to set up your accent font, this will like be the one that shows up on buttons and stuff like that. You can just pick a font. I'll just use DM Sans. You can make it bigger, smaller, whatever you want. We'll just, let's see here. We'll use about 15 pixels. And then let's see, if we come down here, we can actually change the letter spacing as well. So if we want to space the letters out a little bit, we can do so right here. Maybe that's a little bit too much. We'll just go like that. That looks good. And then we'll go ahead and hit save changes. And like I said, there's a ton of options in here. I'm just going over the basics for now, and then I'm going to be putting out more videos that go into more detail later. If we hit the back arrow here, we can come over here to our typography, and then we can set up like our link color for our website. So if we want all of our links to be red, or we want them to be green, anything that's a link on your website will change. So as you can see, as I'm changing this, it's updating the link color. Now, of course, the green doesn't look good on the button, so of course I wouldn't want to use green, but we'll say we'll make our link color blue. Again, it doesn't look good, but we can edit this afterwards. So for now, let's say we want all of our links to be blue. We can set that to blue. And then once we edit the default settings for the button, we'll fix this here. Now let's come down here to H1 tag. H1 is like your heading tags. You have your H1, H2, all the way to H6. These are your heading tags. You know, they're good, very important for SEO. So let's say we want our H1 tag to be black. We can make it black. Whoop. We can make it black. There we go. And then our typography, we'll leave the font alone. We'll leave it on default. Default is just going to pull the default fonts that we set earlier. So we'll leave those on default, or you can change it to something else if you want. So if you want specifically your H1 tags to be, you know, a different font, just click on the font that you want to use. I'm going to keep everything on the default setting. And then if you want your H1 tag to be like, you know, really big, we can make it like 60 pixels, or yeah, let's see here, 60 pixels. We can make it bold as well. Once we hit save changes here, and we go back to our website, we'll be able to, because there's no preview here because we don't have any H1 tags. So let's just set up our H2 really quickly. We'll put black, and then we'll do this one. We'll make it maybe 40 pixels. And actually, this one right here is an H2 tag. So you can see the preview here. We didn't have an H1. That's why the H1 didn't show, because there was no H1 tag. But we do have an H2, so at least we can see the preview of the H2. So we'll make the H2 a little bit smaller than the H1. We'll make that one like maybe 40 pixels. So let's make that 40. There we go. Okay, so looking pretty good. So we'll just go ahead and click Save Changes. And then you can come down here and edit your H3, H4 if you want to as well. So let's go ahead and click back. You can come down here and you can add a header and a footer. This I'm going to demonstrate this in a future video, but you can come over here to create a header and footer for your website, put a logo up here, put some menu links up here. That's going to be for a later video. So let's go ahead and hit Save Changes, and let's X this out, and we are back on our Elements panel. So now, as you can see, our colors and fonts and everything have updated to the settings that are in the global settings. So now if I add another button, as you can see, everything is using what we set up. If I add another heading, it's using what we set up. If I change this, say if I want to change this to an H1, right here where it says HTML tag, just change it to H1, and we have our H1. It goes right to the size that we set up earlier. If I go to H3, it'll go to the default settings that we have. If I go to H2, it'll go to the default settings for H2. Come over here, and you can edit the text, whatever you want to put. So I'm going to go ahead and delete all this stuff that we have here, so I can kind of start from a blank screen and show you how Elementor works. So in Elementor, the way Elementor works is there are containers and elements. Okay, these right here are your elements. These are like your widgets, okay, or your elements. And then here is your container and your grid. A grid is a container as well. It's your layout. So in Elementor, all of your elements will be in a container. So if you take this container and you drag it into your canvas, you'll see this little handle or tab. These are called handles. The 6 dots, if you click on them, it'll take you right to your edit container properties, where you can basically control all the settings for this container. If you hit the X, it'll just delete it. So let's just drag our container back. And if we hit the plus sign, it'll allow us to add another container. And then from here, what we can do is either go back to the plus sign, drag in another container, or click the plus sign here. It'll give us some more options, and we can choose the layout that we want. If we want to use a flex box, and we can choose the type of flex box we want. And then as you can see, you have this container with all these columns within the container, and then you can drag elements into these containers or these columns. So let's just go ahead and X this out again, and X this out. and we'll start over and we'll just drag over a new container. So if we put, for example, some elements into this container, we'll put in a heading, come back to the plus sign, put a text editor right here, and put a button. Wherever you see like this yellow or this pink bar, this is where when you let go, that's where it's gonna put that button. So if I put it there, the button's at the top. You can just drag it down underneath as well. Another cool thing with Elementor is if you come up here to this structure, the navigation panel, you can see how it's got you got your container, and then within that container you have a heading element, a text editor, and a button. And as you click on them, it'll take you right to that element, and then the side panel also updates so you can edit that particular element. Also, when you hover over any element, you're going to see a pencil icon. If you click the pencil icon, it'll also take you over to the edit button, or whatever element you click the pencil for. Edit text editor, edit heading, it'll take you right there. So every element will have a pencil icon. Every container will have these tabs, so you know it's a container, and all of your elements are within that container. And once they're in a container, you can control everything about how they appear in that container. Again, if you want to go to the container settings, just click on these 6 dots. You can control the width of the container. You can control the height of the container. You can control the direction in which the elements within the container appear. You can control how they're justified at the top, in the middle, at the end, spaced out with spaces at the top as well, spaced evenly. You can control how much space is between each element by increasing the gap, just like so. If you ever want to put any of these settings back to default and you don't remember what they are, in Elementor, just highlight the value and push delete on your keyboard. And as you can see, the 20 in here is grayed out. It's because Elementor puts about 20 pixels of padding by default on most elements. So just highlight and delete, and it'll go back to default settings. Same thing with minimum height. Just highlight it and push delete, and it'll go back to the default height. Same thing with the width. Highlight it and push delete. It'll put everything back to default. By default, it's using, looks like 1140 for pixel width, so 1140. Okay. Now, when you're in a container, containers are going to have 3 tabs: layout, style, and advanced. Whereas elements are going to have content, style, and advanced. So like this is, when you click advanced, this is the advanced settings for this specific element. If you click the pencil icon for the text editor, you have content, style, and advanced. You click the button, you have content, style, and advanced. So elements are going to have the same, are all going to be the same: content, style, and advanced. Containers will have layout, style, and advanced. So say if we want to give our container a background color, click on the square or the 6 dots here, go to style, and you see background type. The first one is classic. Click on that. Where it says color, pick your color, just like so, and then you can change your color right here. If you want to use a gradient, just click gradient, and then you can set up a gradient right here. If you want to put a video in the background, you can do so just by clicking on video, and then paste in like a YouTube link or something like that, or the link where the video is located, and you can put a video in your container. So I'll actually demonstrate that for you. So let's just go to youtube.com, and then I'm just going to pick a random video here, copy that, and then we'll paste it there. And then as we paste that in, you can see the video, but of course we really can't see the video very well. His head is chopped off there. So what we can do is go over to layout, because layout is going to control the way the container is set up. So we can make the width bigger, We can control the height and everything right here, just like so. And of course, because the height is bigger than the video, we're going to see our background color there. If you want to make your video more dimmer, so you can do that by going to Style. You come down here to Background Overlay, Background Type, and then pick a color like black, right? And then you can increase the opacity, and then you can make the video darker. And then you can just click on one of your elements, go to the Style tab. Remember, elements have Content Style Advanced, so you can always edit each element. And we can change our standard blue color to white. Click on the text editor, go to Style, and we can change that to white as well. Or alternatively, you can click on the globe, and you can pick one of your colors. And if you're using one of your global colors, you're always going to notice a pink globe. Like, for example, if we click the button and head over to Style, you see the typography and the color is pink because it's telling you that you're using your global settings, the colors in our global settings. But we can always come over here and change it to any other color that we want. All right. So let's head back over to the plus sign, and we can look at a grid. A grid is going to allow you to give you basically more columns if you want to, set your site up a specific way. So let's just drag a grid and see what it does. So we have a grid. We got 3 columns and 2 rows. You can control them right here, just like so. So if you have 3 rows and 5 columns, let's say we want to do 3 columns and 1 row. So now we have 3 columns and 1 row. Come back to the plus sign, and you can just drag in more elements as you wish into these columns. So as you can see, Elementor is pretty flexible, and it gets really easy to use once you start understanding where everything is. If you come over to your container or your navigation panel, you can click, like I said earlier, you can click on these elements, and it'll take you right to that specific element. So if I click on heading, it'll take me right to that heading. If I click text editor, it'll take me right to that text editor. So it makes it easy to find elements on your website. This text color, we can change this. Click the pencil icon and go to Style and make it white. There you go. Say you don't want to put a video, you just want to put a picture. Come back to the 6 dots, and let's choose, go back to Classic, go to where it says Image, go to Upload Files, and we can put in an image. We'll just pick this image here, hit Select. Now we have an image in our background, but of course we can't really see our image because we have the opacity turned up where it's really dark. So what we need to do is remove that that background overlay. So we're going to come down here to background overlay. We're going to hit where it had the color black. We're going to hit this clear. It'll take that out. Now we can see it much better, but the image is duplicated. So what we need to do is fix up the way our image appears. So go back to the container, and then you're going to come up here to background, and down here you're going to change position. You can change that to like center, and attachment, I like to use the fixed. It'll give you that scrolling effect, which will look pretty cool here in a minute, but we still need to fix this image. Repeat, change repeat to no repeat. Looking better, but say we want the image to take up the whole container. Just come here to display size and choose cover. Now we have our image. And as you scroll, look at that scrolling effect, the way it scrolls. That looks pretty cool. All right. Now also in Elementor, if you notice, next to each, almost every option, you're going to see like this little icon, desktop. If you click on that, you'll see tablet and mobile. This will allow you to control settings for those specific devices. So for desktop, we're using this. For tablet, we might want to choose a different option. So you can override settings for specific devices. So anytime you see something like, you know, these little icons, you can control for a different device. All right, and then come up here, we'll just click on desktop. It'll bring us back to our desktop view. Let's publish our changes, and we can click this preview here and preview what our site looks like. So there we go. We got like our little logo text up here, and then we have our first section right here with some text and a nice background image. So let's come back over here to Elementor, to the page builder. You can add another section. Again, just click the plus sign here, add a section, choose the type of layout that you want to use. Or if you want to use a grid, you can use one of these structures here. Now, I personally recommend using the Flexbox because you can actually use the Flexbox and the grids together. Because let me show you something. If you, say for example, if you just use a grid, let's just pick a grid. And we'll use this one right here, the fifth, where it's like a 50-50 split. And we take an element like a text heading, and then we take another text heading and put it in there. Look what happens. It doesn't drop it in underneath it. It just puts it in the other column. So like, say if I want to add a text to the see, it's not really putting it. I don't want it to go like that. I want to put everything in each column. So for example, let's just delete this. Let's add a container, and then come back to the plus sign and take the grid and put the grid on, or actually I did that wrong, sorry. Take your grid, drag it on to your canvas. Come down here, let's put it for one row with 2 columns. So now we have our 50-50 split. This is a grid. Now come up to the plus sign and drag a container into the first column and drag another container into the second column. By using containers, you have a lot more control over how the elements appear. So watch now. If I drag a heading into this column and I drag a heading into this column, we got a heading here and a heading here. Now I can take maybe a text editor, put it here, and put another text editor here. Now, let's say I want to make this one, let's see here. Let's say I want to make this column here. I want to arrange the text in a different order. So let's click on the square here. And let's come over to the direction. And we can control how everything in this container appears. And then on this container, we're going to leave it like this. So by using the container, you have more control over how the elements appear. Whereas if you're just using a grid, you don't have that same control. But you can basically put a container in the grid, and like we did here, and then you have a lot more control of how those elements appear. So if I want to drag a button into this one, it'll put a button down here. If I drag a button on this one, it'll put it to the right. It'll put it right here. You can move it around just like so. But now it doesn't look so good because it's going off the edge. So you can actually decrease this, make this smaller, adjust these settings here just using the arrows, and now it looks a little nicer. So I hope so far you guys have found this helpful. And if there's anything specifically that you would like to see, put it in the comments, and I'll be happy to make a video on a specific subject or something that you want to see with Elementor. I'm going to make more videos later going into a lot more detail on how to build a website from scratch. I'll show you how to make a really awesome header, really cool footer. Look at my website here. You know, I have a really nice header up here with my logo, some navigation links, a nice hero section with a nice call to action right here. And then I got this really nice footer down here with some social media links. So I'm going to show you guys how to make really cool designs with Elementor, but this is just my first video that I've put together for y'all so you can get a good understanding of how the page builder works. So I hope you found this video helpful. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell notification to be alerted when there are new videos.